Kingsmaker, which at one point was actually an expansion to the module of Neverwinter Nights and full price, this version is a carryover to the Enhanced Edition that we're taking a look at. It's set in a story near the Keep of Cyan, and in it we are tasked with becoming the Lord of the Keep. It's actually a short little module that can be completed in basically a day, somewhere between 4 to 8 hours, which makes for a perfect digestible chunk of Neverwinter Nights content. With all that being said, remember if you like this style of content to give a thumbs up and subscribe, but let's go ahead and dig in. At this point, Kingsmaker is offered up in the Neverwinter Nights Enhanced Edition as extra content beyond the base campaign. But what's neat about this mod in particular is that it was developed in part by the community and by the BioWare team with new music and voice acting, all an excellent plus when playing through the story itself. You'll also have the opportunity to have multiple henchmen in this one, which I found really intriguing. The set pieces for Kingsmaker isn't very elaborate, but it consists of enough locale settings necessary for the storyline to progress, which is basically needing to get factions inside the keep to elect you as the next lord. I believe 4 factions would be sufficient, and in my playthrough I was able to nail more than necessary before the time was up. There's a time limit on this one, which even includes a lovely NPC which will magically teleport to your location and remind you to rush to a conclusion a few times until it pushes the narrative forward and forces your hand. You see, Kingsmaker is pitched as a replaying mod. Now I understand why. The time limit artificially gatekeeps the content. I mean, yeah, there's choices of different NPCs that you can select with their own background and their inherent narratives that will play a role with the interactions within the world, and the option of always creating that new character with a different build type to explore the content in a different fashion. But the problem that arises with replaying the content is that it's not really that good at stomping through similar ground to reach the same conclusion, which for the most part comes with a twist ending. There's no spoilers here, folks, but as you'll play through, I'm sure you'll guess what that twist is well before it comes. So then it comes down to quest design that you encounter with the factions, and you have to repeat some of those quests if you play, and well, they're really just not that great. Little small hubs of content that don't really actually push the narrative forward, and their designs kinda lackluster except for a couple puzzle scenes. Also, the setup leading to the opening quest line and explaining the setting is pretty messy, to be honest, as you're extremely railroaded, which is fine if you ever did tabletop D&D. Then you've more than likely ran across the DM that just forces things to happen for the sake of the narrative. Overall, it's not much of a sticking point if you understand that the first 20 minutes aren't going to amount to much entering into the playthrough. I guess that's really it. Kingsmaker has some interesting villains, a semi-decent story, but a lot of railroading and a lackluster quest line without much storyline except for the completion on turn-ins for quests. In the end, it's just not enough, and there aren't many secrets to be discovered or hidden stashes which could have amped up the sense of discovery inside this mod. With the limited time, it could have added a little bit of extra spice to this playthrough. You take the time to explore this region more with the chance of not being able to get all the factions you need to advance the storyline? That's a risk reward that could have added another element and perhaps made a replay more worthwhile. Overall, Kingsmaker is a decent mod, but I do think if you have some time to kill on a rainy day, this is a perfect bite-sized chunk of Neverwinter Night that might just be right up your alley. Well, that's it. That's my thoughts on the Kingsmaker. Remember to hit that sub button for more content on these mini reviews, and I'll see you on the next one. Take care.